Have you ever had a friend with benefits?
A friend with benefits?
Or multiple friends with benefits? At the same time?
I've had mine at the same time.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to 30 Years and Running. I'll be your host, Christian, and each week my friends and I will be looking at life seen through the eyes of 30-somethings. Whether it's things like dating, social media, or mental health, we'll be looking at the past, present, and future of being in your 30s. Sorry, my bad. We could do it again if you want to. Should we rewind? Streets of Rage, though.
Just see us doing like a reverse it.
Reverse.
Let's go.
You know what I mean. Welcome to the last episode. Was that a Blazing Squad?
Yeah.
Flip reverse it.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll do my intro again.
Right.
Welcome to the last episode of season 1. I got man like Nooky back in the building. It was only right to get the first. So you were the first person who I ever did an episode with.
Yeah.
For this season. So I thought it was only right to get you back on.
Appreciate it.
So I appreciate you being on the episodes, man. So yeah, thanks a lot for being a part of this. To be fair,
We're quite close today as well.
I mean, you need to back the fuck up.
But social distancing and all that kind of
It's all
stuff. Restrictions have been alleviated to an extent. So
good. Why are you so formal with it as well?
what are you talking about?
The people don't care about how close you are.
No, I'm just saying, like obviously things are changing as
Of course.
things are starting to open up.
So if I want to give you a hug, like pause, I can give you a hug if I want to.
Yeah, pause.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What? So I couldn't give you a hug if I wanted to. Alright, cool. Spud thing. Alright.
You got any hand sanitizer at all?
I do. It's over there, but why are you trying to say my hands are grimy or something? Fuck you, man.
On with the show.
Yeah, innit, man. Anyway, thank you for what I was originally saying is thank you for being part of season 1. But seeing as how you're cussing me,
Yeah, no.
and saying I've got grimy hands, which for the record, people, clean as a whistle.
I'll be honest. No, do you know what? It's been fun, like real fun.
No, it has been fun to be fair. And do you know what? It's more than anything. It's just been good to catch up with, not only you, but just like with people who I haven't really kind of sat down and spoken to.
Yeah.
Some of them for like a while to be fair, actually. So yeah, it's been good to just chop it up with people and also just cover some topics which have been funny, which have been serious, which have been thought provoking, that type of thing. So yeah, no, it's been good fun, man. So the last episodes of this season, I did promise you, to be fair, throughout the whole kind of journey that we would do like a sex type episode. So last episode for the season is going to be friends with benefits. So hopefully that kind of
skirts on it a little bit.
Yeah, like wets your beak a little bit. And then maybe next season we can do something a bit more
Raunchy.
Yeah, raunchy. But yeah, I think for now we're gonna talk about friends with benefits and see how we get on from there. But you know the drill. Before we get into the chat, if you're on YouTube, make sure you download, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment, make sure you like the video. If you're streaming on any platforms, give it a rating, download it, do what you need to do.
I'm not gonna lie. When you said you know the drill, I was ready to plug my photography page again.
Bro.
But do you know what? No.
You can plug it if you want to, sir.
Nah, that's on a bit of a hiatus in a minute. Whilst I'm working on focusing on my main day, my 9 to 5 job. That's on the sort of backbone in a minute. So
it will be back.
Yeah, we won't promote at Richard Anthony Photos.
Such a bait plug. I'll put it in the description anyway, but it's good for the people to know.
Yeah.
Right, so friends with benefits. Before we start talking about it, I guess, do we need definitions? Do we need to get that out of the way?
Yeah.
Just so everybody's clear?
Okay.
Sort of... So for me, like a friends with benefits is as simple as just someone who you meet up with and it's all about just having sex.
Yeah.
That's as simple as it is. So it's not to be confused with something like a situationship, which is a bit more than that. It's more kind of like you meet up, you date and things like that. You do stuff that you would do in a relationship, but you're not in a relationship. Yeah. If that makes sense. Yeah. So
those are quite sticky.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, like friends with benefits is just really black and white. You're there to have sex with that person.
Yeah, literally.
So I suppose with that being said, the first place, I mean, we can take it wherever we want to take it, to be fair, but I suppose first place I would like to take it is, have you ever had a friend with benefits?
A friend with benefits.
Or multiple friends with benefits at the same time?
I've had my at the same time. Yeah. I've I've had it at the same time. Yeah, well, they're friends, and we have benefits. So this is great way to start, to be honest, because I think that's always been a factor that's been a bit of an issue. So when it comes to friends with benefits, exclusivity, and I think that if you're a friend with a benefit with someone, like there's always that understanding that needs to be made, whereby are you guys exclusive in your arrangement? Can you fuck other people? Can you talk to other people? Like, what's the situation?
I suppose, with that being said, what's your take on it?
So I think that it's case by case. Like there does need to be a conversation that needs to be had with the people that are involved. For me, I'm generally, so if I'm ever in a situation where I am doing the friends with benefits, for me it's a case of I want to have a conversation about it, but I'd want the person to be able to do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, it's a funny one, really, because I suppose, like, technically, because you're single, or both people are single, like, both people should have the ability or the freedom to be able to sleep with whoever they want. Yeah. But if we're being really, I'm going to apologise for this in advance, but if we're being really kind of granular about it, and we're being really kind of practical about it, if you're sleeping with someone, and if you've got a friends with benefits relationship with someone, and you're sleeping around with someone else, then that's obviously going to compromise that friends with benefits situation. In terms of, I'm not even going to beat around the bush with this, like in terms of like STDs and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So it's a weird one, but I agree with you. Like, it's a case by case basis. I think you almost want to have that conversation with them to say, yes, you can sleep with other people as long as you're safe doing it.
Yeah.
Or, like you say, like you just kind of draw a line in the sand with it and just say, yes, we're exclusively friends with benefits. So yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a case by case basis, but I think there's obviously a big watch out in terms of, if you are sleeping with other people, then there's obviously that risk of not putting on a raincoat and and causing some problem. Yeah,
put that hood up.
Yeah, and getting into some problems basically. So
for real. I think another thing as well is like you want to, if you are in that sort of situation, and the rules are that you can play away from home as well as playing at the home ground. You
Emirates.
Right. Never playing in the Emirates still. You obviously want to have like that safety element. You want to make sure that they're protected, you're protected. I think for me, like I've always been protected, in terms of that, really. But outside of that, I think the biggest,
don't lie.
If they're protected, I'm protected. Like you have discussions about how you want it to work. You're only lying to yourself. Like,
I'm playing.
If it's been agreed, innit? If it's been agreed, and if it's exclusive, then it makes sense for there to be like some sort of measure which isn't latex, if that makes sense. But I think the biggest challenge that I've ever had whenever I've had any sort of friends with benefits hasn't been the safety of my sexual health. It's always been
catching feelings.
The feelings aspects, the feelings element for me has always been a big challenge to really try.
And is that from your perspective of you catching feelings with the girl, or her catching feelings for you, or both?
I'll be real with you. When it comes to friends with benefits, I'm quite cold-hearted. Whereby, like, don't get me wrong, if I'm involved with someone, like, I will be able to get on with them. I'll be able to vibe with them on a level, have, respect for them, and, enjoy their company. And at the same time, let's say if they were to be hooking up with someone else, there's going to be jealousy involved in that, because I think that's natural, that's normal. If I'm plowing into something, I don't want someone else doing the same thing.
Plowing into
something. I don't want to be thinking about someone else doing the same thing. But equally in the same sentence, that's their prerogative. Aside that, like, my feelings, if it's a friends with benefits arrangement, I will put my feelings aside, and I will look at it as they're my friend that I've got something going on where we, from time to time we'll have a bit of hanky panky, and that is what it is. And that's all it is to me.
Yeah.
So that's the way I sort of see it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a little bit similar to that, to be fair. Not even just in terms of friends with benefits, but I'm the kind of person who, as long as I kind of know what the situation is, whether it's good, whether I like it or not, like I can kind of deal with it. And I think that applies to friends with benefits as well. If I know that that's literally all that it is, like I'm fine with that, and I can almost like program myself to think like that's what it is, and it's not going to be anything else. So on that basis, like I don't think I've ever. I'm trying to think with all the girls I've had friends with benefits relationships with, like I don't think I've ever caught feelings because I knew from the jump basically like that's what it was, and I know that things can develop over time. But it's more because I've literally programmed myself from the off to know that this is all that is going to be, and like I can deal with it like that.
Yeah,
I think the problem comes when you don't have that, you don't establish what it is up front, and then it can go either way basically, and then that's where I think the waters kind of get muddied. But as long as I kind of know up front like what it is, I'm fine with it, to be honest.
See, this is the thing. So I feel maybe that it'll be very worthwhile like having this conversation with like a girl on this as well.
Yeah, of course, we'll do that.
Because not gonna lie, like you're having the same sort of opinion, the same standpoint that I have, whereby if I know what's going on, I'm quite happy to do what it is, and I'll be able to control my feelings to the point where it's like I'm not going to allow myself to get too caught up with that girl, because I know that if I do, it's going to jeopardize that friends with benefits arrangement we got, and I know that based on my past experience in a friends with benefits arrangement, I wouldn't want to be the person that wants more, because once you're in that position, then you start, the feelings are there involved. People start getting hurt.
But I mean, you can't help it sometimes. Like these things just happen, innit? Like you might go into the situation thinking, yeah, this is just friends with benefits, but we're only human at the end of the day. Like
but then,
if you're spending time with someone like that, and albeit it's just for sex, I guess.
Yeah,
but on the surface.
Yeah, so if it can't be helped, so then for you then, in terms of the times that you've done friends with benefits, how many times have you caught 2 minutes like feeling stronger than they have, and it's become a problem?
That's what I mean. I don't think I genuinely can't think of a time where that's happened, and that's maybe I'm fucking R2D2 or something like that. But I just think, like I say, it doesn't even just apply to friends with benefits. It applies like right across the board. Yeah, like it applies right across the board. As long as I kind of know what the deal is, like literally, I'm super focused on what that is. Yeah, and so it's never a problem really for me to. And then on the flip, and I know that probably makes you sound like a cold-hearted cold.
Well, then this is what I'm gonna say. So then on the flip side,
yeah.
Like, how many girls, or have there been girls that have caught feelings and then want more from you, and you've not wanted the same?
Yeah, maybe a couple times. I think, to be fair, I think it's been less when it's been about friends with benefits, and it's more been when we've had like a situationship.
Yeah.
Sorry, these are like a lot of like Instagram / like modern day terms, aren't they? But yeah, it's been more. I think it's easier in something like a situationship to kind of catch feelings, because you're obviously, it's not just a sex thing. You're kind of going on dates and things like that. Yeah. So yeah, I'd say, just from memory, I'd say it's happened more in a situationship situation. Because
I know for a fact, if you're in a situationship, you're out there, you're taking them for dinners, and
yeah, of course.
And you're quite old school as well. I know that, like, if you're meeting girls online and stuff like that, like, you will do that.
Yeah, 100%. Because I feel like
when I've been online and stuff like that, I haven't done that. Like, I've been less traditional.
I mean, even with a friends with benefits situation, like, I always try and be chivalrous as possible, really. Even though we kind of know that it's just a sex thing.
That's what causes the problem, bro.
No, I know, but
He's
I
holding.
can't. I
He's
might be able
holding
to,
the door for me. He's paying the bills.
yeah, I might be able to kind of like streamline how I feel, or like how I feel about that person based on, you know, what we've kind of set out from the off about what the relationship is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can't switch off who I am, to be honest, regardless of like what the situation is. If that makes sense. So
yeah.
whether it's friends with benefits or if it's a full-on relationship, I'm still going to be me. I'm still going to be chivalrous where I can and things like that. And I suppose, as cold as it sounds, it's not my problem if they catch feelings because of that. It's true though, but I'm just being me.
Mate, I've always been the nice guy with this one.
Well, this is what I'm saying. I am being the nice guy, but at the same time,
until they catch your feelings, then it's like, "Fuck you, bitch."
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
that
like,
shit.
no. I'm gonna be like, you might be catching feelings, but like this isn't what we kind of established at the start.
Bro, I've tried that conversation.
Yeah,
and do you know what? And I guess it is down to like obviously setting those boundaries and those rules in the beginning. And even then, I feel like the rules can be set and they still get lost in translation.
They can change.
And
yeah.
like again, like I'm going to sort of reiterate the fact that it is two guys that are talking about this, and I think that woman's perspective on this would be fantastic, because from my perspective, your perspective, our perspective, I definitely know that when I've been in those situations of doing friends with benefits, I feel like from my side, I've laid down the line of what I want. I've laid down the rules. I've said this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. I've said, and even when I date back to when I was at, if I go back to when I was at uni, I remember there's a couple of times where it's like,
couple of times, couple times,
bro. It's like 3 years at uni. Oh, for me, it was a lot more than 3 years. Remember, I like had to reset one of my years still. But yeah, whenever I was like, you know, engaging in a friends with benefits sort of arrangement, like I would say to look, I'm not looking for anything serious. I'm not looking for this to be anything more than just us having sex and, you know, hanging out and stuff. And I would find that more often than not, that they'd be like, yeah, cool, yeah, I'm down with that too. Even though I know from the way they've talked about, you know, dating in general, they are looking for something. And then they try, I don't know if you've experienced this, but then they start to try and change you. You know, they try and sort of say like, oh, you sure you don't want to be like, I mean, why do you not want to settle down? Like, this is like, we're having so much fun together. Like, like everyone likes to settle down. And then they try to convince you a bit that a relationship would make more sense, because you obviously getting on along well. And the thing is, for me, for the most part, whenever I've done friends with benefits, it's been easy for me to connect with someone without connecting too deep, where I feel like I need them like that. So the sex for me has been good enough, and the connection as a friend has been good enough, and then I go about my day, like especially when it's been.
I just imagine you just whistling down the road, just like, oh, time to go to work.
But the thing is, that's been the reality of what it was like when I was, you know, when I was younger. When I was at uni, it was just like you had to be thinking about. Obviously, you're studying. If you like, I was doing part-time work at the time as well, and had my friends and family to be thinking about, and I wasn't really looking for anything too deep in terms of a relationship when I was single. I did have relationships whilst I was there at uni, but when I was single, I was like, this is what works for me. You know, rather than me worrying about having something deep with someone, I'll have that release. I'll have that moment of pleasure. They'll be cool. Let them go and do whatever they got to do for their day. They got their lectures to go to. I've got my lectures to go to. I've got to head back to London. They got to do whatever they do on the weekend.
So you're just basically like, let me go get this nut, and then let me go to the geography.
Yeah, well, let me get this nut. Let her get that dick. Like this.
Let me go study some economics and then study some pussy
afterwards. I mean, I was studying economics. This was a form of transaction. That like this is the way that it was.
Form of transaction.
It was a transaction. Yeah, it was.
Bruh, this is sound like friends with benefits, and this sounds like some paid activity. I mean, I'm not talking about OnlyFans either. No. I'm joking.
Paid in the form of company. Paid in the form of. You know.
The one thing I was going to ask about that actually is, do you think, from your experiences of friends with benefits, do you think that, and in the instances where they've wanted more, do you think they've almost settled for friends with benefits at the start because they want something more long term?
100%.
So so basically what I'm trying to say is they didn't actually want friends with benefits. They just did 100%. It just as a way to kind of like get their foot in the door.
Because they think that ultimately, if you meet someone and you have an interest in them, you want to try and figure out if you can get with them in the way that you would like to get with them. So if you meet a girl that you have only an interest to have sex with, obviously you're gonna try and figure out like what would tick those boxes for you to be able to have sex with her. Obviously you want to be keeping as moral as possible with that. You don't want to lie to her or anything like that. But equally so with a girl, if she's looking at you and thinking, "Oh, this guy could be the one. This guy could be the guy that I settle down with. You know, he's got good husband material." She's gonna look at you and be like, "Okay, he wants sex. I'm gonna give it to him." Blah 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 blah. And yeah, so they may use the whole friends with benefits angle.
Man, that just makes me sad. To be fair, to think that, you know, a good girl, for example, thinks that the only way, or potentially the only way she sees at the time of kind of getting with a guy who she really likes is just through his boxes, at least in the beginning anyway. But I guess that's kind of like the world we live in nowadays. Isn't it?
That is far from uncommon, man.
I know, but like I say, you're right. It's far from common, but it's quite sad when you think about it, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But do you know what the reason why it is the reason why it's sad is because people are not honest of their intention of what they want. So for the most part, a girl could be talking to a guy and she thinks that getting sex with him will win him over, but she thinks that, you know, he has good intentions and he wants something serious. And I know off the bat from, like, you know, guys I've spoken to in the past, they will say whatever they need to in order to get their nut, in order to get what they want. I've never felt like good about that. I've never felt like good about going to a woman saying like, "Yeah, you're the love of my life. You know, you're everything I think about. You know, I can see a future with you. I can see marriage and this, that, the other with you. All of that in aid of trying to just get a nut."
I mean, if guys are doing that, and if girls are doing that as well, to be fair, if they're going to that lengths just to beat, then there's a problem with them, to be honest.
Not to pander to women, but I feel like they don't do that. I feel like they've never really used men in that way that women obviously get used by guys.
Probably not. I'd say the majority of people, the majority of where that happens is probably driven by guys. But I'm just saying there's probably some instances where it might not be articulated like that. It might not be through love. It might be through something else that they use. But I'm guessing that there's probably women out there. Like what? Cooking? Yeah. I mean, some other form of manipulation is basically what I'm saying. But yeah, I think you're right.
You can manipulate with some mac and cheese, definitely.
Mac and cheese is fire, to be fair. But also, dead mac and cheese is like the worst. Do you know what I mean, though? Like, I think it's just like with
it's
anything.
Too creamy. Like,
No, it's just like dry.
I like it stringy, you know, like real stringy cheese.
Yeah, of course. But like when it's dry, then it's just kind of dead, to be honest, and it just kind of deads the whole thing. But anyway, that's probably a conversation for another day. But
yeah, next episode, mac and cheese.
Yeah, we might have to make it the perfect mac and cheese.
Mate, I'm thinking about like going to like Jamaican like wedding receptions and just seeing like a big foil tray of mac and cheese.
Yeah. But to try and bring it back, actually, I think what you could bring back, you probably know what I'm going to say as well. But like stirring good mac and cheese is like, that's the sound that pussy makes.
Wait,
have you not heard that? Wait, heard that before?
I was not expecting that.
Isn't it? I was trying to think of a clever way to bring it back to the kind of sex aspect.
Fam, the next time I have sex, I'm going to be thinking about mac and cheese.
Bro, just imagine just going. You know that kind of noise, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that was quite a good impression, to be fair. But my days.
You know what I mean?
So next time I have sex, I'm gonna be thinking about mac and cheese.
You're gonna be thinking about that.
Next time I eat
3 cheese mac and cheese, isn't it?
And next time I eat mac and cheese, I'm gonna be thinking about sex.
You're gonna be licking your lips. You're gonna be licking your chops out of the boy. You're gonna be having the mac and cheese going.
This tastes so good.
Bit salty.
Oh my!
I'm joking. I was literally just thinking about this a second ago as well. Like, I haven't had friends with benefits in a while. I think it's one of those. Well, for me anyway, it's one of those things where, again, this is probably like a really obvious point, but it's one of those things that I think you experience more when you're younger because you're obviously not. Well, for me anyway, like I wasn't really kind of looking for anything too serious when I was younger. Yeah. And then I suppose as I've kind of gotten older, I think I've kind of veered away from friends with benefits and more into the situationship kind of zone.
I think that we're at that stage though of our lives where like in our 30s, you would be looking to settle down and you would be looking to
of course. And I think like
so that whole having fun and just like having that casual situationship, as you keep sort of putting it, that arrangement doesn't bode well with you trying to build a future, unless you're in a position where that situationship is okay with the people that you're trying to have like a serious setup with. I don't know. Obviously, that then we start talking about polygamy or something along those lines.
Again, I think it's one of those things where as long as both people kind of know what the deal is from the start, I think it's not too much of an issue.
Yeah. But let's say in your 30s, friends with benefits needs to be, that's a dying thing in my opinion.
I agree,
because it's like, because when you're 30, going to 31, 32, 33, etc., that's when it's like, okay, well, the person that I'm having the person that I have that arrangement with, like, do I see them in my future seriously now?
Yeah, I mean,
because we know this from speaking to some of our friends that are girls, like, they're they have worries about being in their 30s and they haven't settled down, and they want kids, but they've been focusing on career and stuff like that. So I know for them to have a situationship or have a friends with benefits, they won't be desirable to them in any way, shape or form.
Yeah,
they'd be thinking along the lines of, look, I need to find someone that's serious.
Yeah, I mean, what I would say is, if they're looking for someone serious, then a situationship shouldn't, and friends with benefits, like, that should be out of the equation. They should just be looking for a relationship.
And by the way, a situationship sounds so horrible. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you know what?
I feel like if I had ever been in a situationship, I would just be on edge the whole time.
No, I think it's
like, yo, so what are we?
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie. I actually think I quite like them, to be fair. But what I was gonna say is, like, the reason for me is less about it's less about seeing a future with someone, because I know that whether it's a situationship or a friends with benefit situation, I know that it's that those two things aren't long-term things.
Yeah.
It's more for me, like, why I veered more to the situationship side of things is more because I feel like in my younger days I've kind of ticked the friends with benefits box, so it's kind of like, what's next?
Yeah.
And I think at this stage you're right. Like, I think it's more about
marriage.
Well, I mean, that's probably the end goal, to be fair. But also, like, it's not just about sex, it's also about companionship as well. But then I suppose the kind of the good thing about a situationship is you kind of get the companionship, you kind of get the sex aspect, but then if you're kind of even not sure about whether you want a long-term relationship with that person, or you just don't feel ready to have a long-term relationship with that people, there isn't that commitment with that like you would get with a relationship. So basically, for me, I know we're kind of veering off course in terms of friends with benefits, but I think it's kind of relevant to this convo. But, like, I've had a situationship before.
They're quite similar. Yeah,
they're pretty similar, to be fair. But, like, I've had a situation before where I was in a situationship, but we kind of knew right from the start that that was all that it was going to be, because like, she was an older woman. She had kids, like, she didn't want to have any more kids, so we kind of established. I knew you were gonna ask me.
How old was
46?
46.
Yeah. But you wouldn't think she
was.
was
How old was you when she was 46?
I mean, this was like last year, to be fair. So I was 31. So,
okay.
But like,
I mean, just I've been a little bit older than that. Just off the record.
So have I. Off the record.
Have you?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, this might be a topic for another day, but yeah, I've been older than that, to be fair. But anyway, going back to my point. So my point was, like, with this situation that I was in, like, we both knew right from the start that it was never going to be long term, because she didn't want to have kids and things like that. And it worked really well, because we wouldn't necessarily see each other every single week, but we knew that we could kind of message each other. Like, I'd go around to her, she'd come around to mine. We'd cook dinner, we'd go on dates and things like that.
Yeah, see,
and it was great because we knew right from the start, and there was like a clear roles. I don't want to say roles and responsibility. That's too, like, work related. Sorry, work.
No, but you knew your roles.
Like, we literally drew a line in the sand and say, this is what it is.
Is that
and
still
it worked out, and it worked out really well.
Is that still happening now?
Mm-mm.
Okay. How long did that last?
I mean, that lasted for maybe
3 months.
No, almost like a year, I'd say.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Because that was another thing that I wanted to sort of.
And we're still cool as well, to be fair. But
yeah. I think that was one thing that I wanted to sort of, I guess, sort of like mention. So, one thing I've noticed whenever I've had a friends with benefits is that we talk about, does it work or not? I always think, yeah, it does work for a period of time.
Yeah, sure.
And I think for me, whenever I did it, it was always 3 to 6 months period. 3 would be like the minimum that it worked. 6 months is the maximum, and it was always a case of, all right, look, I'm feeling you too much. Like, feelings are getting a bit too deep for me, or I've had enough of that fun now. Like, now I know
Onto some new cheeks.
that I want. That's on some new cheeks. Disclaimer: that's not my thinking there.
Okay. Whatever helps you sleep at night, buddy.
Maybe my 20s, bro. Come on now, give me some credit, please.
Carry on.
Yeah. So like, I mean, yeah. So in that sort of period of time, obviously, I'd say after about 6 months, you're developing feelings, or you're realizing truly to yourself that this is not for you. You want it more. You're wanting to find a relationship. It's like, do you know what? Like, I've had my fun. Or maybe the sex wasn't good enough. I don't know.
Maybe.
There's so many factors that can be involved.
And it's funny. Yeah, I think you're right. Like, I feel like one of the main reasons why it just fizzles out is, maybe catching feelings. I feel like sex is maybe not so much of an issue, because I feel like if you're a friend with benefits, then you kind of know that the person's good at sex. So I feel like there's a story coming.
I wouldn't. No, actually, I mean, I've had friends with benefits where the sex has been mediocre. I'll be honest.
Really?
It's funny.
Wait,
have you had sex where it's mediocre, right?
Yeah.
But the other half thinks it's fucking amazing.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure it's happening on the flip side as well, where I've been thinking I've been doing madness.
Was it... When you said madness, I just imagine you just like a jackrabbit or something like that.
It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, you know
But
what?
like, a question, was it great at the start and then it just started slowly going downhill, or was it always
Do you know what? It was
you stuck in there, boy.
In actual fact, it was like, it started off alright. I was like, do you know what? Like you talk a good game in it, so let's see what you got. And then got into it, and it's like it didn't really get better. It was like there, but there was no real like explosion of growth or anything like that. So
Pause.
I mean, like, yeah, I think like if the sex is not good enough, I think that too is going to be a major contributing factor.
But I think as harsh as that is, and so
bro, for friends with benefits, it has to be that.
Yeah, exactly. And admittedly, so basically, when I did the sex episode like a while ago, I remember I asked people on Instagram like stories for. But just
bro,
like
some of your followers say some madness when they talk about
man.
sex. I'm like,
wild shit. But like, I was asking for like just bad.
I had to go
sex
to church
stories.
one day.
Yeah, literally, I had to douse myself in holy water. I was like, the power of Christ compels you. But yeah, like we were asking people for like bad sex stories, and like some of the instances was about like guys falling flat or just coming early.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was defending the premature ejaculators, to be fair. But then I think in this context, in the friends with benefits context, where it is just about sex, I think you have every right to be pissed off with someone, from a girl's perspective anyway, like someone who comes too early or they fall flat, because that's what they're there for, I guess.
But can you be the same with a girl?
Of course. If the sex is dead.
In a friends with benefits situation, no. If you're in a friends with benefits situation and a girl's giving you like a mediocre experience, which
you're about to say mediocre head, isn't it?
I mean,
I saw your lip shake out. They're like mediocre, like that.
I mean, like, would that be something you feel comfortable telling them? Like,
I think you have to though,
like, bro,
because if you, I mean, well, you could either approach it two ways. If you wanted to carry on having a friends with benefits relationship with them, and the sex is mediocre, then you'd have to tell them, or you just lock them off. Basically, that's option two.
Yeah,
but
which is why for me that they. Like sometimes 3 to 6 months it generally sort of works as a. So this is the thing. So 3 to 6 months is what I've normally experienced whenever I've done friends with benefits, and it always falls in line to be the same sort of reasons. So 3 to 6 months, in that period of time, you'll ascertain a few certain things, or you'll understand a few certain things about it. So number one, if the sex is good, that will potentially cause a heightened infatuation.
Mm-hmm.
Heightened infatuation
Facts.
should lead to obviously like a heightened level of feelings towards each other, and that will be cause thinking of look, let's perhaps do something serious. Like we're connecting so well on this
Agreed.
level.
That devil dick.
Devil dick.
Or devil pussy.
I mean, I'd call it
or unicorn pussy.
devil dick with that heavenly pussy.
Heavenly pussy. I just imagine it's like a little like ray of sunshine. It's not even sunshine. What is it? It's just like an aura just coming out of the vagine.
Bro, I feel like that's so. But yeah, if that's the sort of combination of what you're experiencing, then it like that plays a big factor in how long or how short it's gonna last.
Yeah.
We've just gone completely off track.
No, it's all good. But I hear you in terms of friends with benefits potentially having like a bit of a shelf life to it because.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of again, this might sound obvious, but I feel like it's kind of destined to have a shelf life because if sex is the only thing driving that relationship,
it's not enough for it to. Yeah,
it's
not enough for it to sustain.
Yeah, as much as you know, as much as you like sex, like you've got to have that mental stimulation as well to keep wanting to see somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
So if it's just about the beat, and especially like you say, sometimes mediocre.
Exactly, yeah. If it's just about the beat and the beat's amazing, that can't last long enough for it to be just a beat. You'd have to be like, okay, this is such a good beat. The connection's good. Let's develop something further outside of it. If the beat's not good, then you're like, well, we're just friends. The beat's dead. So why are we really doing this? Because we're not connecting on any other level. So let's just end it there. And that's why for generally 3 to 6 months I've seen makes the most sense because whether the sex is good or not, whether you connect or not, usually you'll know within that 6 month period whether you should continue or not.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And I think sometimes I guess when the sex is good, maybe that 6 month period gets elongated, gets extended to a friends with benefits.
Why does it sound like this sounds like an HR process?
I don't know.
We're going to extend your contract for a further 6 months.
Right.
See
I've had a good experience at O2. I'd like to renew my contract.
We'll do your PDP after 6 months and see how you get on. Yeah.
I did a PDP the other day actually.
Did you?
Yeah, QT.
They're so long, man.
I'm doing quite well at work actually.
Maybe I mean real talk. Real talk. Maybe there should be PDPs for friends with benefits. To be fair.
I said a PDP for friends with benefits.
Yeah, I mean if the shelf life is say 3 to 6 months, maybe at the end of that 6 months you have a PDP. Every quarter. All right, maybe after 3 months. Yeah, after 3 months.
Every 3 months. Yeah.
How you getting on? I just want to sit down and chat to you. Like, how you getting on?
Put that in the Outlook calendar.
Let's have a look at what were your objectives for the year. Like, did you meet those objectives? Like, talk to me about what you did in the last 3 months. Did you suck a good dick? Did you fuck me good? Yeah.
Yeah. Like previously, you weren't really about doing doggy style. How has that been?
How's that D changed your mind?
Have you finally eaten ass? No.
Oh, Richard. Man, I am going to hell.
In there,
and you're gonna be right there with me, boy.
Right.
I'll see you in hell, boy.
Bro, I'm going to heaven, bro, or purgatory actually.
You're gonna be floating in purgatory, bro, for the rest of your days.
Trying to get up there.
Boy, I'll see you there for real. Thanks for watching 30 Years and Running. Please subscribe, comment, and share. See you next week. Peace.